Hello student, very good morning to all of you. How are you? I hope you all are happy, healthy and fine at home. Do you remember what were we discussing yesterday? I think we were discuss about the third way of synthesis of longifulin, and in that we have used different reagent, and the role of the different reagent also we have discussed by maintaining the stereochemistry. And during the synthesis of longifulin third way, there we have altered the one word, the reagent is a Simon-Smith reaction. What do you mean by the Simon-Smith reaction? What kind of the product do you expect? Because the main goal of the synthesis of longifulin is to form the carbon-carbon bond formation, and it is specially as a hydrocarbons. Let us see, because we are discussing scheme number 13.23 longifulin synthesis, which is described by S. Karimi and P. Tavers. We discuss all these, but there are the reagent which we have used, and what kind of the named reaction involved during that synthesis, how it play the role during that synthesis, that also we are discussing simultaneously. So Simon-Smith reaction, which is one of the famous reactions, Simon-Smith reaction. Simon-Smith reaction. What is the speciality of this Simon-Smith reaction? It is one of the best method to form a new carbon-carbon bond in the organic chemistry. Cyclopropanation of olefin using cyclopropanation. Remember here, cyclopropanation using cyclopropanation of olefin, not this, cyclopropanation of olefin using CH2I2 diiodomethane CH2I2 and zinc in presence of copper, zinc copper. So couple, and how do that Simon-Smith reagent prepared? Let's see about that. Here CH2I2, which is a starting material used for it, and then zinc copper coupling treated together. The complex form, there is organometallic compound like ICH2 ZNI. This type of the reagent generally form, and when these reagent, Simon's reagent, further treated with this one, we are going to get this CH2 form as a cyclopropanation. This type of the ring is formed. So this is the product. It's a very good intermediate. There is a formation of a new carbon-carbon bond takes place. So this is a speciality of this, and that's why this Simon-Smith reaction is utilized for the synthesis of longifulin in one of the step while synthesizing in a third way. Now, how this reagent, for example I, then CH2I, that will be treated with zinc oxidative addition, zinc. Here is a Zn oxidative addition, oxidative addition takes place or occurs, results into the reagent ICH2ZnI, which is known as Simon-Smith reagent, and this reagent is known as Simon-Smith reagent. How this reagent is prepared or obtained? He used the diiodomethane, then zinc oxidative addition takes place, and the reagent form is ICH2ZnI. So this reagent is known as the Simon-Smith reagent, and this reagent particularly at an equilibrium, for example, let me clean the board and write rest of the thing. Suppose 2I CH2I 2I CH2ZnI CH2ZnI, which is a Simon-Smith reagent at an equilibrium. It can form ICH2 twice Zn plus ZnI2, zinc iodide. And how the mechanism can take place over here, that is shown here. I, then CH2 ZnI, which react together and form as a complex over here. Then there will be this CH2 over here, and then iodine, then there will be ZnI form over here, and after that this will be converted into this one and plus ZnI2 is generated over there. Suppose, for example, what is the application of it? Suppose you have a starting material is this one, as we know that, which is alpha beta unsaturated compound. If you use this reagent ICH2 ZnI, that is a Simon-Smith reagent, what do you get? You are going to get the product C double bond O, and here you will find as a cyclopropanone, where the olefin is there, triple bond region. In asymmetric version also, it can form as a bond in presence of one equivalent of twice 6. So these are the some of the application where we can get as a cyclopropanone. So this is Simon-Smith. A retrosynthetic analysis corresponding to the synthesis in scheme 13.28 is given in scheme 13.27. So now we are going to discuss the next scheme, that is a scheme 13.27. The fourth way of synthesizing the longifulin that we are going to discuss over here. So far we have seen the third method for the synthesis of longifulin. Now we are going to discuss the fourth one. Fourth way of synthesizing longifulin, scheme 13.26. It is a scheme 13.27, which is retrosynthetic analysis. Retrosynthetic analysis corresponding to synthesis in corresponding to synthesis in scheme 13.28. in scheme 13.28. So let's see how the fourth way is, how it can be used. Here let's see, as we know that the structure of the longifulin and their retrosynthesis also, we know that this is a structure of CH2. Here is a methyl group. Here are two methyl groups. Though this is a structure of longifulin, and numbering system, as we know that, starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. This is a numbering system. But when this is a disconnection arrow, and we know that disconnection arrow means what? It is an analytical operation which break a bond and convert a molecule into a suitable starting material is known as a disconnection. And retrosynthetic analysis. Retrosynthetic analysis means what? Retrosynthetic analysis means what? The process of breaking down the target molecule into convenient starting material using disconnection, and FGI is known as, FGI means functional group interconversion, is known as retrosynthetic analysis. And retrosynthesis means what? Retrosynthesis means what? An imaginary but logical reverse chemical reaction which help us to reach the reactant starting from the target molecule is known as a retrosynthesis. And in a retrosynthetic analysis, just now we have defined, but in that there are two important words are involved. One is a disconnection and another one is a FGI. Disconnection and analytical operation which break a bond and convert a molecule into a possible starting material is known as a disconnection, and it is denoted by the symbol, and the FGI is written over it. FGI means functional group interconversion. Functional group interconversion means what? One of the functional group is converted into another functional group, so that disconnection becomes possible is known as functional group interconversion. These are the whatever important term involved in the retrosynthetic analysis we already discussed in our previous lectures. Here just repetition, but you can see these are the important terms are used over there. Now this is a disconnection arrow. According to that, when we carry out this, let's see here what is going to, here we are going to use as a FGI, functional group interconversion, so that you are going to get this product as it is. Then here only these are the changes. Here methyl group as it is, this methylene group is converted into suitably in a carbonyl group, and this methyl group is also as it is. So this is known as a 27 first. This structure is well known as a 27. First retrosynthetic analysis we have written as a functional group interconversion. What we did over here we just converted this carbonyl, this olefinic group into as a carbonyl, because we know that the approach, Wittig approach, here you can use as a Wittig approach here. Approach suitably we can convert, because when you do the retro, when you know the making of that bond, then and then you do the retro. So that is the meaning of retrosynthetic analysis or the disconnection. Or retrosynthesis means what? Whenever you are going to break as a bond, you should know the process of making of that bond, then and then you break that bond. Otherwise, or you can convert that functional group in another functional group, so that you can suitably convert that back. So that thing you should keep in a mind, then and then do the retrosynthetic analysis. While breaking as a bond, you should keep in a mind, you should have in a mind whatever the named reaction we have learned so far, whatever the method we know for making as a carbon-carbon new bond, there are a number of named reaction from that we can make as a carbon-carbon. So that reaction you should keep in a mind, and then you break that way. So that is the real challenge before the retrosynthetic analysis, because we by using as a Wittig reagent we can suitably convert back, because this carbonyl group can be converted suitably with maintaining as a stereochemistry. That is a regioselective reaction. Wittig reagent is a regioselective. Regioselective means at the particular region the stereochemistry is maintained. So exocyclic double bond suitably we can brought over there, or we can bring over there. That's why this is there. Now this 27 first, again do the FGI, again doing that FGI functional group interconversion, we remove this methyl group from the bridgehead, so that we can suitably get over here. This is a other thing remains as it is, this methyl group and this methyl group, they are as it is. Now this structure is known as 27 second. Only if you observe these two structure very closely, the methyl group at the bridgehead, that is removed, or that is not there, so that the changes we made, because we know that by here, by using any strong base like as a LDA or maybe as a methyl lithium, or that are the base which can produce the enolate, and suitably we can introduce at alpha position the methyl group. So that's why we did that one. And after that, here at this junction we can bring as a hydroxy group. Other that again we can do as a FGI functional group interconversion, that the changes we are going to made over here. This one, not this directly here. Here are the methyl group, and here we are going to introduce as a hydroxyl group. Other things, sorry, here we made something. Here the same thing, everything is the same. Here is a carbonyl group. After that we adding here is a methyl group. Here we are introducing as a hydroxyl group, that the changes we made over here, and which is known as 27. Sorry, here also we made as a CH2, and this is known as a 27 third, that the changes we made over here. And after that, if you do again as a functional group interconversion, you will get over here this type of the structure, double bond over here, not this one. It is a hydroxy, there this methyl group, this 1 2 3 1 2 3, and at here there will be a triple bond C and CS3. That is a compound which we got, that is a 27, or what we can take 27 fourth, third, and this is a fourth. And this compound we can suitably write here this way, 5-membered ring, OH, double bond over here, and at this junction we can attach this group which is CS3, again CS3, and after that there will be 3 CH2 groups, CH2, CH2, CH2 methylene group, and after that there will be a triple bond, C triple bond C, and lastly is a methyl group. So this compound and this compound one and the same, and that's why it is shown as a 3 arrows, 3 lines, that is a equivalent line. This is a retrosynthesis of this compound, which is a what we can call it as a longifoli, right? The striking feature of this synthesis is the structural simplicity. This structure, look at here, see the simplest structure where we have a allylic alcohol and then carbon-carbon triple bond. So simple react, so simple starting material, or we can call it here as a intermediate. The striking feature of this synthesis is the structural simplicity of the key intermediate 27/4. This is a key intermediate, this one, the key intermediate, key intermediate we got over here, which is a simplicity. A synthesis according to this scheme generates the tricyclic skeleton in a single step from a monocyclic intermediate. The speciality of this intermediate, from this intermediate we can prepare the tricyclic compound in a single step, and which is this. If you observe the structure of longipholene, you will observe that longipholene is a tricyclic, and that's why these key intermediate directly converting, directly giving as a tricyclic compound, and that is a speciality of this intermediate, and that's why it is a useful intermediate is obtained here by performing as a retrosynthetic analysis, and they have got this one. A synthesis according to this scheme generate the tricyclic skeleton, carbon skeleton or carbon framework in a single step from a monocyclic intermediate. Monocyclic means if you observe this intermediate, key intermediate carefully, there is one 5-membered cycle is present, and from that we are going to get as a tricyclic, and that's why it is a very useful in this particular synthesis. And this disconnection 27 third to 27 fourth, 23rd 27 third to 27 fourth disconnection this disconnection 27 third to 27 fourth correspond to a cationic cyclization. This cationic cyclization of the highly symmetric allylic cation 27th A. 27th A is a highly symmetrical molecule, and which after the removal of this you are going to get highly symmetrical compound, and which I am going to represent over here. This is a cyclic compound, here is a plus cationic, and then after that here you can write CS3, then 3CH2, CH2, then C triple bond C and CS3. This is a structure, this is known as a 27 4th A. That is a structure which we got, which is a highly symmetric allylic cation. Is a symmetric. If you cut this molecule, if the symmetries pass through this, you will get exactly identical half part, equal parts, and that's why symmetrical molecule. No issues of stereochemistry arise. No issues of stereochemistry arise until the carbon skeleton is formed, at which point all of the stereo centers are in the proper relative relationship, and the structures of the successive intermediate assuming a stepwise mechanism for the cationic cyclization are shown below. These cationic cyclization are shown over here. So now let's see how cationic cyclizations are shown over here. Let's see, this is the fourth scheme which we are discussing now here. Let's see over here. This is a compound which I am writing over here. Double bond here is a hydroxy group, then there is a 2-methyl group, then 1 2 3, 1 2 3. After that there will be triple bond C and CS3, that is a compound, and after removal of that carbocations are formed here and rest of the thing remains as it is, positive charge over there. This one remains here 1 2 3 CH2, and there 1 2 3, and here you can write triple bond and then CS3, and after that it will be converted into is a 5-membered ring once again, this one, and then there will be this group 1 2 3, and here form as a suitably form over there ring formation and double bond CS3, positive charge comes on that carbon atom, and after that there is a cation will be formed, and we can get that bridge ring over here. So suitably you can get this compound 3 here, double bond over here and CS3 group, and here is a positive charge at this position, and finally there is a hydroxy group here at this position, and we will get this is the structure, double bond over here CS3. Let me show this one, 1 2 not 3, here you can write directly 2 3 CH2 groups, and here is a hydroxy group. That's the evidently these are closely related intermediate are accessible and reactive since the synthesis was successfully achieved as outlined in scheme 13.28, and that scheme number 13.28 longifulin synthesis, which was described by W.S. Johnson and co-workers, that we will discuss in next lecture. So far we have discussed 4 ways of synthesizing the longifulin. So I think with this let us stop today here, remaining we will see in the next lecture. Thank you, have a nice day.